he's just an exceptional striker as well. Always there and around the goals. He's never the player that goes on and wins the Golden Boot, but he gets the key goals really that City need in order to go on and win the title. We all remember the famous one against QPR and how that was influential towards their first ever Premier League title win.
Horrible times.
No, it was a great time for a City fan. Not so much for United fans, but yeah. You can't put it past it. He's definitely up there now with some of the best in Premier League history, and it looks like it's going to continue on because I think is he there until 2021, 22?
Yeah, 2021. Yeah. I think so. I haven't got it on here, but I think it was recently you agreed to it, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1 year extension over the weekend, I think.
Well, I remember at one point people were concerned that he was going to leave Man City. It was either at the end of last year or the year before, but. Joe, you can't really imagine that. If you have just joined us on YouTube, because I forgot to press the record button, we are ranking where Aguero is one of the best strikers in the Premier League. So, Joe, Sergio Aguero, I know it's very hard to try and pick the best striker of all time in the Premier League because let's be honest, there's a lot more bigger strikers than Aguero at the moment. But where do you see him on that list?
He's definitely in the top 10.
Top 10, yeah.
Definitely in the top 10. He's obviously a fantastic player. He's on the City contract thing. He said once his contract runs out, he plans to go back to Argentina and play for, is it Independiente or something? I can't pronounce the.
Your guess is as good as mine, mate.
One of the teams over there, back where he started his career, obviously. Fantastic. He scores, like you said, in the big games. He scored how many times in Manchester derbies? I wish I had the.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. That's when you put me on.
He scored in the League Cup final. Scored the winning goal to win the league in 2012, as Conor said. He's always scoring the key goals.
You have to keep reminding me.
Well, it was a beautiful day, even for a Liverpool fan, I suppose. But yeah, he's one of those big players. He's always. You mark the best strikers in the league by the goal records and the ratios, etc. And obviously, he scored. How many goals did he score? Over 147 goals for Manchester City. So fantastic. Anyone over 100 goals, you could argue, is one of the greatest strikers in the league. So,
in your eyes, who is the best Premier League striker you've ever had? Would you say Alan Shearer?
Thierry Henry.
You would say Thierry Henry because Alan Shearer's got the most, hasn't he? 261 was it, or something like that? Which is but Alan Shearer was there throughout his whole career, wasn't he, in the Premier League when Thierry Henry, he went to Barcelona to go and win the European Cup, so you could understand that. But would you say Aguero's top 5? He said top 10. Would you say?
I would say he's top 2.
Top 2?
Yeah, only behind Thierry Henry.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you count that because of the trophies he won as well?
I would count that because of the trophies and the goals that he scored in such a period. 147 goals in the Premier League after only 7 and a bit seasons at City. Thierry Henry only scored, I think it was just under 200. So he's approaching that mark, and Thierry Henry was at Arsenal for close to 9 years.
About 9 years. 98 was it he signed for them,
I think
and then he left in 07, I think.
It might have been later than that.
06, I think he left.
No. He had one more season, then he went. 2007.
So, I think I got my notes here. Yeah, I was looking through just Premier League goal scoring records last night as to Aguero and other Premier League strikers, and 300 appearances, as you said, 205 goals overall for City, 112 appearances in the Premier League, 147 goals, Golden Boot in 2014-15 season, and then since the 2014-15 season, he's never scored less than 20 goals in a single Premier League season.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because that's what you expect from any striker these days, if they are to be this world-class player.
Yeah. And then
I wish Lukaku would do that.
I went into comparisons as to top strikers really in the league, and I was thinking in my head who are the top 5 really in contention if I was thinking about it, and I would definitely have Aguero in there. I already mentioned Thierry Henry. I think we're all in agreement really that Alan Shearer's in there. I stick Rooney in there as well because of how he was when Ronaldo was there, how he complimented against him, and how he picked himself up after Ronaldo's departure as well before the eventual decline.
Especially the season after Ronaldo left, Rooney was the main man at United.
And then the other one I put in there is Cantona, but I don't think Ruud van Nistelrooy makes it into there because I don't think he was long enough in the Premier League.
No, he was there for 6 years.
Yeah, same with Suarez because I think he was only in Liverpool for 3 seasons or 4 seasons.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He had one proper good season.
Yeah.
Wise. That was when they lost the title. But
Yeah. So then I went into basically that as to look at those players and see whether or not I could compare them against them and say whether or not Aguero is better or worse than them. So let me get your thoughts on it. Is Aguero better or worse than Rooney?
Better.
Oh, that's a good one. Because we're only talking Premier League here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'd say better.
Well, you'd say better. What would you say, Conor?
I'd say better. I'll give you my reason in a minute, but I wanted you to.
I find it tricky because I think with Rooney, he's not always been a striker, so it's a bit of a tricky situation there. I think you're right in terms of Aguero, what he's achieved in the last 7 years or so is very, very crazy and scary actually compared to other players. But I think for me, Rooney, for England's sake, he became a United record goal scorer and an England goal scorer in that time as well. So,
but think how long he was at the football club
exactly, he was there since 2004 and he left in 2017.
And he tried to leave 3 times.
Tried to leave 3 times. So, you know what? I will say Aguero, but I think Rooney's very close.
I put Aguero as better than Rooney because Rooney's never scored 20 plus goals in the league more than twice. So that's significant in that front. Aguero was constantly there helping his team win, whereas
I think as
Rooney
well,
was more of a complementary part.
I think when you look at Rooney's career as well, he had the likes of Ronaldo scoring more goals. He had Van Persie scoring more goals than him. And that there were a lot of seasons where not everyone looked at Rooney as the guy who won Man United the league.
Okay, so the next guy I got on the list is Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, I think straight away he won the Premier League with Blackburn. That was quite an achievement. But then what he did for Newcastle United, but you kind of I love Alan Shearer. He's I love him. He's great as a pundit, as a footballer. He was fantastic. But my only problem I have with Alan Shearer is that his career could have been so much more.
Yeah. That's what I say as well.
I feel as though, don't get me wrong, he's always got a special heart for Newcastle and Blackburn. But what if he had gone somewhere else?
Well, he was close to joining United, wasn't he? Well, rumoured. United had a bid accepted.
Yeah. But
And he turned them down to join Newcastle, and then he turned them down again at Newcastle.
I can't remember if it was him or Paul Gascoigne who was about to go to Man United on the final day of whatever transfer window it was. And then I think it was either Paul Gascoigne or Alan Shearer, where the owner of either Tottenham or Newcastle had said, right, what do you want? Right, we'll give you that. And car turned round and they went to the other club instead. So our times could have changed.
Yeah, so I said Aguero is better in terms of Premier League history than Shearer, mainly because his career wasn't injury plagued like Shearer's was. You think second season at Newcastle, it kind of went downhill after that because he was scoring 30 goals plus. I know they played more games back then, but he was still scoring quite a lot of goals for Blackburn, and then he did in the first season at Newcastle, but kind of dropped off a bit since then. And then the last person I got on the list is Thierry Henry. I already told you my answer. No, I don't think Aguero is better than him yet, but let me know.
You might do later on.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
What do you think?
Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Thierry Henry. You can't put anyone on top of him at the moment, but the goal tally tells it all. But anyway, that was our thoughts. What do you guys think at home? Remember, you can watch this on YouTube as well. Comment below. And where do you rank Sergio Aguero as one of the best strikers in the Premier League? Let us know your thoughts.